Hi, I'm Nina Taylor, and here is your gospel news. Famous Baltimore pastor Jamal Harrison Bryant was recently named new pastor at New Birth Missionary Baptist Church of DeKalb County in Atlanta, Georgia. The Morehouse graduate will be leaving Empowerment Temple in Baltimore and will give his first official sermon on December 9th, just before the holidays. The church and congregation are pleased and ready for Jamal Bryant to take the pulpit at New Birth Ministries. The ties between gospel music and the jazz tradition run deep, from Louis Armstrong performing spirituals to the sacred music of Duke Ellington. Many jazz artists have worked very closely in gospel music, and their performance styles draw heavily from the spiritual tradition. Mel Holder, born in Brooklyn, New York, of Panamanian descent. By the age of 6, Mel was severely hindered from fully participating in many youthful activities due to asthma. At the age of 9, Mel picked up his sister's clarinet and began to make music. Mel's family immediately knew that this was divine intervention, since such an act was deemed impossible based on his physical condition. Mel Holder has a signature sound that travels the world spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ. From his home in Brooklyn, New York, to the ancient Asian city of Okinawa, Japan, to the remote communities of post-apartheid in South Africa, to the socialist country of Cuba, and throughout the Caribbean and Europe, this anointed psalmist, author, and speaker delivers his message of hope and healing to the nations. From his early days in Memphis, Tennessee, where he played in his father's church, veteran saxophonist Kirk Whalum drew inspiration from the rich musical traditions of the city, including gospel, R&B, blues, and eventually jazz. He received a scholarship to attend music school at the Texas Southern University, where he formed a band in 1979 and began playing at shows and on the local club circuit. When he opened for Bob James in Houston in 1984, the pianist was impressed with Whalum's expressive style and invited him to play on his album 12. Whalum soon signed with Columbia Records and released his first solo album, Floppy Disk, in 1985. That album, as well as the next two, 1988's And You Know That and 1989 The Promise, was produced by Bob James. Cachet in 1993, and This Life in 1995, each one of them earning the saxophonist increased commercial attention. Then Whalum demonstrated an ability to synthesize music from a variety of sources to produce fusion of pop, jazz, and R&B. The following year, he released The Gospel According to Jazz, Chapter 1. It exhibited his ability to return to the music of his childhood stylistically, while also pursuing a kind of spiritual depth that has a long history in jazz. The decade also brought Whalum an amazingly diverse series of session and touring jobs, working with such artists as Yolanda Adams, Take 6, BB and CeCe, Barbra Streisand, Edwin Hawkins, Quincy Jones, and many, many more. Ben Tankard's father was a minister and his mother a missionary. In church, he played drums at an early age. He played tuba in school and received a basketball scholarship. Although he was selected in the NBA draft, he hurt his knee before the season even began. During a period of homelessness, he went to church and was inspired by a revival service to turn his life around. He began playing keyboards and released his first album, Keynote Speaker, in 1990. He learned about arranging and producing records. He worked with Gerald Albright, Twinkie Clark, Fred Hammond, John P. Key, Shirley Murdoch, Kelly Price, and Take 6. Tankard also discovered a third-grade school teacher named Yolanda Adams and signed her to the record label Tribute. He produced her albums Through the Storm, Save the World, More Than a Melody, and Yolanda Live in Washington. He's earned 15 gold and 6 platinum records in his 25 years in the music business. He and Shirley Murdoch received a gold record for their Wow Gospel 2006 collaboration, which climbed to number 1. It was certified gold for more than 500,000 units. He's received Grammy nominations, Dove Award nominations, and many, many stellar nominations, including Best Instrumental Album for 2010 for Mercy, Mercy, Mercy. Although many of Tankard's albums have received airplay on gospel and smooth jazz stations, the Weather Channel, XM Satellite Radio, Music Choice also play Mercy, Mercy, Mercy. Well, that's your gospel news for this week. I'm Nina Taylor. Let's get back to more great gospel music on this great station.